Guys, welcome back to another episode of Punt Intended. We had a small hiatus due to Hurricane Helene wiping us off the map, okay? So everybody continue to pray for our communities, the North Carolina communities. Anyway, I'm not going to turn this podcast political, but I wish the people in office would do a little more, but there you have it. All right, before we start, I got to give all three of us a little bit of flowers right here, something I don't normally do. All three of our upset alerts hit. I don't know if people who watch the podcast probably already know. Mine wasn't that big of an upset. It was UCF getting beat by Colorado. Not that big of an upset, but y'all's two were big upsets. Kentucky beating Ole Miss was huge, especially on the road. Like they went to Vaught Hemingway and beat them. And then Colin calling the upset of Tennessee by Arkansas. Two big upsets. Yeah. So go give y'all the flowers there.
I was more impressed by, Kentucky, Ole Miss was great. I think Kentucky did a great job. But I was even more impressed by old Sammy Boy and those Suey pigs going in and doing the thing. So that one actually did. So, anything is possible in this college football environment this year, as we've seen this past week. But yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Colin, what do you got to say? Colin had them Tennessee fans in their feels, buddy.
Dude, I know, and they were like impossible. Y'all are a bunch of idiots.
They're doo-doo.
Well, that's what upset alert is for you to pick somebody that's multiple, like double digit underdogs for them to win. That's what I don't know if they understand what that means, but yeah. All right, so recapping last week, week 6, crazy week of college football, a lot of upsets. So we're gonna start off with our biggest winners from week 6. Who do you guys think were the biggest winners? We'll start with Hutto. Biggest winner from week 6.
I'm going to have to go with Vandy. This was the first time in their entire program's career that they ever beat a number 1 team. If Vanderbilt and Alabama went back and played again, do I think it could happen? I don't know, but I think Vandy's our big winner this week. They showed a lot of poise on the field and, maintained control of that game basically the entire time. So.
Yeah, I was just waiting on Alabama to come back and win that game. They just kept scoring. Vandy kept scoring. They kept hitting big plays. Shout out their quarterback. Shout out to Clark Lee. Got the boys playing good up in Nashville. Colin, winners of the week. Winners from week 6.
Hold on. So the Alabama game. So what I noticed, what Vanderbilt did that Georgia did not do was attack short. All right, we tried to go deep against one-on-one coverage with on man coverage with cornerbacks. You can't do that with Alabama. You never have and probably never will be able to. Hit them short, keep it on the field, and do it that way. But my biggest winners were all the one-loss teams. Tennessee losing, Alabama losing. That just brings in more losses that you can have in a season and still get in the playoff. So I think that was really big for every one-loss team, like Clemson.
Ole Miss,
Ole Miss, everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It really let the door open, and I'm glad it happened. To be honest with you,
yeah, and it's going to be a crazy year, man. I think.
And now you're going to have a one loss to either Ohio State or Oregon after this weekend. So
yeah,
but
yeah,
that was
talk
my
about
thing.
That shortly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my biggest winner, A&M. They lost that opening game to Notre Dame, and I was like, I don't know how good they are. The defense plays, and when Connor Wegman looked great Saturday. I've not been big on Connor Wegman all year, but he played great. Like, nothing special, I guess, but he did what he needed to do. They jumped out to an early lead, and it just snowballed. It seemed like everything went in their favor. Shout out to Texas A&M. Shout out to Mike Elko. I wish Florida had hired you, but it is what it is. So, yeah. And all you Alabama fans that are saying fire Kalen DeBoer, please do. We'll trade with you straight up. Billy Napier for Kalen DeBoer.
Listen, I knew.
No issue.
I knew. I gave DeBoer like 3 years before Alabama fans started acting like Alabama fans. And they're like, oh, we got to get rid of him. He's no Nick Saban. Well, obviously he's no Nick Saban. There's never going to be another Nick Saban, most likely. We'll see what some of these coaches, starting out, what DeBoer will do if Kirby continues on the way that he's continuing on. But I knew this was going to happen. Game 1 of them losing. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect them conference heading in, but I knew it was going to happen.
Well, it doesn't help that they lost to Vanderbilt, right? Optically, I think Vanderbilt's solid. I know they lost to Georgia State, but they're not a bad team. So optically, it looks bad when you lose your first SEC loss or loss in general to Vanderbilt. So that's not helping him. But anyway, moving on. Biggest losers from week 6. We'll start with Colin this time. Who is your big loser?
My big loser is Tennessee. Just straight trash. I overhyped Nico, overhyped Josh Heupel. Offense looked just garbage. Like I was literally putting them on a pedestal of being like the new offensive team, like, but just straight doo doo. That's my outlook. But Tennessee looked bad. Arkansas is not a bad team. Don't get me wrong.
No, they could.
But
I was thinking about Arkansas. They could easily be undefeated right now if a couple of things go their way.
And that's what I'm saying. And just it's hard to play at Arkansas. Arkansas, there's one thing about it. So we play every year a golf tournament. It's called the Hog Dog. It's Arkansas versus Georgia. And when I say Arkansas, people ride for people that go to Arkansas, buddy. It's working.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a great fan base.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And to get a top ranked team in there, it's hard to win. And
yeah, don't let them get good at football because they're good at they're a good baseball school and their fan base for baseball is unreal. So Coach Van Horn, I think that's his name, Dave Van Horn. Anyway, so Tennessee for Colin. Hutto, who's your biggest loser from week 6?
It's kind of tough because there was, so many upsets. But I'm gonna have to go with Alabama. I think, we just discussed their fans with their situation. They're going into their first loss, and you got some more games at home. We just got to hope if Alabama can stay, keep their fans involved, and come off this loss and continue to win games. I don't think it's that big of a loss for them as far as for the rest of the season goes. Obviously, it was a slap in the face, but I'm going to have to go with Alabama.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. It'll be about how they rebound from this, and we'll find out a lot about DeBoer and that locker room moving forward. So, agreed. Mine was Tennessee as well. Like Colin said, the offense was awful, dude. And Heupel's the offensive guy. Nico has looked the part of a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback all year, or not all year, but a good majority of the year. And they just fell flat on their face, man. I don't know what happened. Hopefully they get it figured out, because when Tennessee's good, college football's fun because their fans are great. I'm not gonna lie, they have a good fan base and they get rowdy and they ride for their team, as we found out when Colin picked that upset actually. So
they come out of me like cockroaches at nighttime.
Oh yeah, but I will say the teams that lost this weekend, it makes your road to the playoff harder. Like Colin said, the teams that had already lost, when they lost, their road got harder, but when somebody else loses, obviously it makes it a little bit easier. So now Tennessee's looking around and hoping some other people drop some games, because they still got what? I know they played Georgia, right? I'm pretty sure they played Georgia.
Yeah.
They played the Mighty Gators this weekend. Let's not forget, okay? Yeah.
Pretty sure they still play Alabama as well. So.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tough games. You never want to drop one that you're supposed to win, especially in today's SEC. So, like I said, mine was Tennessee. Moving on, players of the week 6. I'll start it off. Ashton Jeanty is the best player in the country right now. Him and Travis Hunter, I think, are the two best players in the country, are playing to that perspective level. But Ashton Jeanty's numbers are unreal. I don't know what his numbers are in the season, but they're unreal. I looked at them the other day. Don't remember them. But he went this weekend, 13 carries, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. In my opinion, he's the leading candidate for the Heisman right now, as long as barring any injury or him just having a couple bad games, I think it's his to lose. So we'll go to Hutto next.
Pulled him at halftime.
Yeah, I know. And he only, like I said, he rushed 13 times and had 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dude is incredible. And shout out to him in the age of NIL. I know they interviewed him and said several teams offered him, probably big time bucks to go play somewhere else, and he stayed at Boise. So shout out to him. It's paying off for him.
I would say he was my player of the week, but I needed him to run 13.5 more yards to complete one of the legs of my bet. So he will not be my player of the week.
Well, if they hadn't pulled him, he would have for sure. But I mean,
yeah. But I should have known better. I should have known they were going to pull him in the 3 minutes into the third quarter. But mine is Diego Pavia. I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah,
his numbers on that game were not crazy. I think he threw for a little over 200 yards. He was like 16 for 20. But for a quarterback who has never been in a game like that is the biggest game he's ever played in his entire life. And to be poised from point A to point B, and I mean, he never threw an interception that game. He never really faltered. Just because he didn't have really he's not throwing what Cam Ward is throwing as far as yardage and stuff like that. He played really well. He played poised football. He played like had been there before. Honestly, at this point, we might want to hit up Diego and see if he can come replace Carson Beck, because Beck acts like he has never seen a football field in his life. But that's my player of the week. I think he did a really good job for somebody who has not been on that stage before. So congratulations to him and Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he played great, did what he had to do to get the job done, and led his team to victory. That's what you ask from a quarterback. Colin, player of the week, who you got, big dog?
So I mean, of course, Genty is he's a Heisman guy. He's gonna win it, barring any injury. But I have Pavia, and it's not the only time Pavia has beat a Alabama SEC team. Last year at New Mexico State, I believe he played.
Oh yeah, I
They
forgot. They beat Auburn.
They beat Auburn, and
That's right.
He's I wouldn't say he's used to it, but he went on the road at Auburn, beat a SEC team, struggling Auburn team last year. But anytime you go into Jordan Hare and beat
Hare
him,
is a tough place to play for
it's
sure.
tough. So, but yeah, he definitely showed a lot. But I like a dual threat. And my thoughts on Carson Beck, I think he's a great kid. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the league. I really do. If he just gets some things straightened out. But Georgia will never be a good college team until we really get a good dual threat quarterback.
I
You
agree.
saw what
I've
happened.
seen what Stetson Bennett was slightly
Stetson
dual threat, and he went crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
that's the case.
What can you do?
Any college team now, I feel like you have to, in this day and age when you have defensive tackles who are 345 pounds and they're 6'5" and they can run a 4.6. You have to have somebody who's a dual threat quarterback, or you're dead in the water. So
yeah, I agree 100%. All right, well, that'll wrap up week 6, our look back at week 6 with all our players of the week and winners and losers. So we'll move on to week 7 now, a little preview outlook on some games. And we'll start off with one of the bigger ones, in my opinion, Texas versus OU. When I looked yesterday, Texas is favored by 14.5. I think that may be a little high considering it's a rivalry game. Anyway, we'll start off with Colin. I know Colin is a Texas fan, so we'll start off with Colin. Let him preview this game. What do you think happens here?
All right, the sure bet for this weekend is Texas and Oklahoma. I don't care nothing about the spread. Don't care about nothing about that. In the past, I think it was 7 games. This game has been the over. Bet the over. Oklahoma normally plays up the competition here, but they don't have anything for Texas. Texas is a stud team, defensively sound. Offense is going to get Quinn Ewers back, and I think they click. And I really see it as a blowout. I got it 45-21. I don't give Don't give a piss about nothing but the horns, baby.
I like it. All right, go ahead, Hutto. What do you got in this game?
I'm going to have to agree with Colin. I think the game's going to be a little bit closer. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, we saw how Texas performed with Mississippi State. That made me feel like this is, with this being a rivalry game, I think that it might be, more within like a touchdown and a field goal or so. But I think Texas is going to take it away.
All right. So I think this game could get weird. I really do. I think Oklahoma, Brent Venables is obviously a defensive-minded coach. Prides himself on his defense. The defense is okay. They're not great by any means, but they're pretty good. They held Tennessee to, a couple touchdowns, I think. Now, looking back, maybe Tennessee's offense just isn't that good. They're getting Quinn Ewers back. This can go one of two ways. Quinn could be a little rusty, start out a little slow, or Quinn is a great quarterback. He could come out and light it up. I think that's going to depend, obviously, on how the game goes. I don't think Oklahoma can score enough to win the game, though. I'll take Texas. I do not think they cover. I'll take them 30-17. The Horns. They're right there at covering, but they don't cover. All right, Florida at Tennessee. Oh my God, the Gators are going to Neyland. I'll start off with this one. Hate to break the Gator fans' heart. I'm a realist. Florida's not winning this game. Tennessee coming off of a ugly performance. They're looking to bounce back. Heupel's going to light up the scoreboard. Our defense did look good Saturday. Again, we're playing UCF. KJ Jefferson can't throw the ball over 10 yards. Just going to say it. Once we stopped the run game, they had no offense. Billy Napier tried to sit on the lead, really pissed me off. I'm ready for him to be out of Gainesville. But Neyland is one of the tougher places to play in the country. I just don't see Florida being able to get it done. I think Tennessee scores 34 and Florida scores 21 and we lose. So that's where I'm at. We'll go with Hutto next. What do you got in this game?
I'm going to make it interesting. This is actually my upset alert of the week. I know Colin's laughing. Colin laughed at me about Kentucky as well, though. So
no, he's probably laughing because the Tennessee fans are going to rape you in the comments.
I don't care. Dude, they're Tennessee fans, bro. Their cousin is their mom. But I'm just kidding, Tennessee fans. Calm down, bunch of pussies. Anyway, but I think that Florida might go into Neyland and Florida might win this game. I think it might be the only good game they have this year. But like you said, their defense played fairly well. Tennessee is coming off of a loss. I think they're going to try to see who they can blame, who did this, who did that. I don't know if they bounce back from that loss as far as as quickly as they want to. So I'm going to go with Florida upsetting Tennessee.
Let's go. Hey, nothing would make me happier than to beat Tennessee. Florida does seem to, I will say this, Florida does seem to find a way to beat Tennessee every year.
And okay, I'll put a pin in this. That is, if they figure out their quarterback thing. I really don't like how they're going back and forth from this quarter. But if they start Lagway and leave him in the game and let him make decisions and let him control the football game, I think there's a possibility they might knock him off.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and break your heart. We're not starting DJ Lagway.
No.
It won't happen. Billy Napier's scared to do it. Now, Mertz didn't look terrible Saturday, but in my opinion, Lagway, as soon as Lagway came in on the third drive, he hits a big 35-yard completion. I mean, underneath the safety over the corner, beautiful throw. Something Mertz hadn't done all year. It's I don't know, but anyway, go ahead, Colin.
Y'all remember the show Swamp People?
I do. That's a good show.
Okay. There was this guy. He rode by himself and caught these gators. He had a dog with him. There ain't no damn dog scared of no gators. Give me the Vols, 28-10. Oh, Rocky Top will always be.
Home sweet home. I do like the song Rocky Top, not gonna lie. I'm a fan. All right, moving on. Ohio State going to Oregon, opposite side of the country. We'll start with Hutto this time. Hutto, what do you got in this game?
Oh gosh, this is a tough one. Both pretty stellar football teams. It hurts me to say because I hate Ohio State with a dying passion, probably more than any other team in the NCAA. I'm gonna go. I will not. There's two things I will not do. I will not pick Ohio State to win this game, and I will not play with Ohio State on NCAA 25. You can bet that. So I'm going to say Oregon comes up, and I think they go up by 10 and take it away.
Nice. Okay. Colin, who you got in this one?
I also hate Ohio State with a dying passion, but also do not like Oregon. Give me the Buckeyes, 48-40, with no defense.
Okay,
no
I like
defense.
It's
going to be a high-scoring game in Eugene, night game. Both offenses should click. Give me the Buckeyes.
I like it. Okay, so I'll break up the little streak we had of hating Ohio State. I do not hate Ohio State. I used to. I don't anymore for some reason. I kind of like Ryan Day, and I
my God.
No, screw, dude. I hate Ryan Day so much. He's such a tool, dude.
I
dude,
like Ryan Day.
Dude, I hate that guy.
I like him because I didn't like Harbaugh, and he. I mean, obviously, recently he wasn't beating Harbaugh, but before that he was beating him. Anyway, Austin Stadium's going to be rocking. That can play a big difference in the game. I think Austin has kind of slipped on when we talk about great college football venues. So far this year, in my opinion, Ohio State's looked like one of the best teams in the country. what's his name? Jeremiah Smith, or what's his name? I can't remember his name. The
Yeah,
freshman
the
wide
wide
receiver.
receiver.
He's dirty,
Stud.
dude. He's so good.
Stud.
Will Howard's good. The defense is good. I think they're a complete team. I think the Silver Bullet defense and Jim Knowles will be the difference here. I think they get enough stops. Give me Ohio State 31-21. Moving on, we got 5 games this week. Pretty good week for college football. Ole Miss at LSU. I'll start us off on this one. Death Valley's a different place at night. Sorry, that's just how it is. Lane's gonna have a good game plan. Obviously, he usually does, but LSU is gritty. I think their defense is not great, but they fight. I like Garrett Nussmeier. Brian Kelly's a better coach than he gets credit for. I know they lost to USC at the beginning of the year. They do that every year, guys. I don't know if this is newsflash. Brian Kelly cannot win game 1 for whatever reason. Lost to FSU back-to-back years. Lost to USC this year. They play better as the season progresses. Give me LSU at home, 28-20. Lane Kiffin, that'll put him at 2 losses. They're going to lose to Georgia as well. They're going to miss the playoffs. Florida's firing Billy Napier. We're hiring Lane Kiffin. You heard it here first. Hutto, go ahead.
I think, personally, I want to say I think Napier has one more year in him at Florida.
Napier can get another year. He needs to win these next 2 games, in my opinion. Only chance he has. I don't think we're beating Tennessee and Kentucky. We may win one of them, but I don't think we win both.
But I'm gonna have to go and agree with you. I think that LSU pulls this one off in Death Valley. It's a tough place to play ball, especially at nighttime.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Ole Miss offense is incredible, but I've seen firsthand when Kyle Trask and that Florida Gator offense was so incredible that one year we went to Death Valley, we lost. We got beat by like 2 touchdowns. I mean, the game was back and forth, but that environment's different. Colin, who you got in this one, brother?
So Death Valley night game. I hate Lane Kiffin. Never really liked him.
I love Lane Kiffin.
Great offensive mind. Just never really liked him. Both shoddy defenses. And that's I think it's gonna be a higher scoring game than what we all think. I think it's gonna be close at that. I think it's gonna be back and forth. If you see a lot of Ole Miss's wins and losses, they've been some shootouts, stuff like that. But you got 2 electric quarterbacks, Nussmeier or whatever his name is, and Dart or whatever.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce the LSU guy's name.
Nussmeier. You're right.
But at the end of it, the band's gonna be playing neck, 42-41 with a walk-off field goal.
Facts. I like it. Okay, so we all picked LSU. I haven't been keeping up with our picks. I'm gonna have to go back. Let me just keep up with it real quick. Colin, you picked Texas. Hutto picked Texas. I can look at mine later. Hutto picked Florida. Colin picked Tennessee. Ohio State. Colin picked Ohio State. Hutto picked Oregon. And then that one was both LSU. All right, I'm caught back up. Sorry, guys. All right. Penn State at USC. I almost didn't put this game on here because USC is just, I don't know, dude. Like, after they beat LSU game 1, I was high on Miller Moss. Lincoln Riley's a pretty good coach, I guess, but I don't know what's going on with them. They just lost to Minnesota. They lost to average Michigan team, I think. So we'll go Penn State at USC. We'll let Colin lead us off with this one. What do you got?
Here we have a matchup between the liberals and the rapists. Jet lagged, and it's a noon kickoff over there in California. Give me the under 21-17 USC.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I agree. I would almost agree with that score. I'll let Hutto go first, though.
I'm going to have to go with USC as well. I haven't watched a lot of Penn State football this year, but from what I've seen from USC and what I've kind of heard about Penn State, or, seen a couple plays and a couple highlights from their game, I'm just going to have to go with USC.
I got you.
I couldn't even begin to tell you what the score was.
Well, I can tell you this. Lincoln Riley, I'm not saying the seat's like scorching or anything, but he hasn't produced since going to USC. I think this is year 3 for him, something like that. And they just, I don't know, dude. He's not doing it for me if I was a USC fan. What was I going to say? USC hasn't impressed me. Penn State hasn't really impressed me either. They haven't played that great a competition, in my opinion. James Franklin always loses the big game. The bad news here is that somebody's got to win. They both like to lose big games. I guess give me James Franklin. I think traveling across the country is definitely going to play an impact. I think it's going to be like 27-21 Penn State, something like that. All right. All right, let's go over our results from last week, it's actually 2 weeks ago. Colin 5-0. Congratulations, my friend.
Yeah.
Brings you to 11-3 on the season. Hutto 3-2. Not bad. You are now 11-11 on the year. And I went 2-3.
Dude, look at me.
I went 2-3, and I'm 14-8 on the year. Colin with a 5-0 week. That's impressive. I'm not gonna lie. All right, now almost last segment of the week. We'll go upset alert. I'll start it off, I guess. I put Texas on upset alert. I don't think they'll lose the game because I don't think Oklahoma can score a lot. But I think it's gonna get weird. I think Quinn might be a little rusty. There may be a little of looking over your shoulder sometimes when a quarterback comes in, like your backup, you get hurt, they come in and play great. You're looking over your shoulder like, if I make a mistake, they're going to pull me or something like that. We'll see what happens. Sarkisian probably won't lose this game, but I'll put Texas is going to be my upset alert. Colin, who you got, buddy?
I had the same one as Hutto. I got Florida. Could be on the upset alert for Tennessee. Just like you said, Florida normally plays Tennessee very good. Don't know why.
I don't either.
They normally don't have the football team that Tennessee does, but they always play them hard. So you never know. It just depends on, I think, special teams. I think there could be some bounces that go one way or the other. So just be on the lookout for Florida catching
I
a
would
dub.
love it. I would love it. I don't see it happening, but I would love it. All right, Hutto, you got Tennessee as well, right?
Yeah, I've got Tennessee on upset as we talked about earlier.
So there wasn't really anything that there wasn't many upsets to go with.
I agree.
looked at it all.
I think that was, it was kind of a stretch for this week to kind of find some. There wasn't anything that really looked, convincing to me. But I really do think Florida has a chance to take this one away.
God, I hope so. We'll see, I guess. All right, Hutto, do you have any trivia for us?
Okay, so since we are all three SEC fans, I would like to ask you, and I don't think y'all are going to be able to get this one because I had to look it up to actually find it. I'm not good with historical information like Tate is. Tate will pull something out of his rear end. But who was the first halfback from the SEC to ever win the Heisman Trophy? This is a hint. It was 1942.
Yeah.
Good Lord! I mean, that was that was during daggone World War II.
Yeah,
I know.
have no idea. I'll just keep it real. I have no clue. That's a good question.
I mean, what were the teams in the SEC in 1940?
The reason that I picked this one,
and
I'll go ahead and tell y'all since y'all won't know, is it was University of Georgia's Frank Sinkwich.
Frank Sandwich. Got him.
It actually does look, it's very close to Sandwich. Okay, and then my second one will be, in what year did Ole Miss start playing the battle for the Golden Egg against Mississippi State University?
All right, Hutto.
1961. I have no
No,
idea.
it was probably like 84 or something.
It was 1927.
Dear God.
And so
you gotta get like some better trivia questions than this.
well, dude, man,
Goodness
I couldn't
gracious.
come up. I had to have something. If I asked something stupid, Tate was gonna know it, and I
Well, you
wanted
could've
Tate to look. I wanted Tate to look bad too, because he knows every time he could ask the simplest question, I'm not gonna know. So those are the only two I had. So
Okay. All right. Those were good questions. I just didn't know them. I mean, those were difficult. All right. So another episode down. I want to thank you guys. Thank our fans. I know there's like 4, but still, anyway, I guess we'll talk next week. See what happens this week.
Trivia question.
All right.
What were the names of the hookers in the movie Forrest Gump?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
She tasted like cigarettes.
Long Legs Lenore and Cunning Carla.
Cunning Carla. That's a
Dude,
good one.
how do you? Did they even say their names in there? I remember that scene.
Yeah.
I love Forrest Gump. One of my favorite movies.
They get up in the bar and Lieutenant Dan says, "These are my friends, Long Legs Lenore and Cunning Carla." and then they go back and
She tasted like cigarettes.
is he stupid or something?
Don't you ever call him stupid. I love Lieutenant Dan. One of the better characters in any movie ever, dude.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna edit this. It'll be out tomorrow. So,
All right, see you, boys.
see y'all. Y'all have a good one, man.